Thank you, Karine. Today, the president argued that the economy is not in a recession. And it was a year ago that the president said that inflation would be temporary. So the question is, why should Americans take his word for it now when the president got it wrong on the economy a year ago?
So here's, when we talk about recession and we talk about where we are currently today, what we look at and what we speak to is the facts, is what other experts are saying and what the textbook definition is of recession. And if you look at the pre-recession years in our history, you see that the thing that happens during a pre-recession is that you lose jobs, and we're not seeing that currently. It is not what is happening. The labor market, it has gained jobs. If you look at the first 6 months, 2.7 million jobs have been created under the president's watch. 9 million new jobs have been created. The last quarter, 1.2 million jobs, and we're seeing the resiliency of business investment. We're seeing the resiliency of consumer buying power, and that matters. Those are the broad factors that we look at.
But Karine, what do you say to Americans who say this is really a discussion about semantics? Whatever you want to call it, you have Americans all across the country who say it is harder for them to make ends meet every month. They're hurting.
And this is a president who understands that. We have talked about that. We have talked about how we understand what the American people are feeling. We understand what that conversation they are having around the kitchen table about how they're going to deal with cost. But that is why we're asking Congress to act on this Inflationary Reduction Act. And let's not forget, I just talked about chips and how that is going to make difference and lower costs. When you think about the semiconductors, right? You think about how the prices of automobiles shot up during the pandemic, and now we're going to be able to make that here. That is a big deal. That is incredibly important as well.
Does the president run the risk of looking out of touch in this moment by digging in on this definition that this moment is not a recession, if in fact at some point it's determined that that's exactly what
I have to tell you, Kristen, I don't think we're digging in. We're being asked. We're being told, and every day I've come in here, I've been asked, so Karine, is this a recession? So we're answering the question. We're using the facts to answer the question. We're using economists who have said, hey, this, for example, Chair Powell has said, I do not think the U.S. is currently in a recession. There's just too many areas in the economy that are performing well, and that matters as well as we are trying to explain to the American people.
And just very quickly, has the president spoken to Senator Sinema? Is it his expectation that she is going to support this piece of legislation?
So I refer you to Senator Sinema. The negotiations, we do not have a call to read out to you at this time. I would refer you to her and also Senator Schumer, who's doing the negotiations.
Not to have her as a part of these negotiations?
Again, I would refer you to Senator Schumer, who's been leading the negotiations.